My parents have been divorced for about 4, 5, maybe even 6 years.
Coming up on 4 years.
11 years.
10 years.
For the past 2 years, it's been like an ongoing divorce. It's still not done yet.
They called both me and my sister over back to my house, and they're like, okay, your dad and I have come to the conclusion that we can't live together anymore.
My parents actually had a lot of trouble telling me flat out.
They never told us like, oh, we're divorced. They didn't like sit down and explain it to us.
Well, I didn't realize that what divorce was when my parents got divorced.
We're all bonded at the same time. We're all separated.
I guess it becomes part of your lifestyle.
My mom wasn't not coming with us for no reason.
I thought everything was fine.
Because I didn't look at as my stepdad as my dad, I just looked at it as my stepdad.
There'd been a long time of, I don't know what's gonna go on. In my head, I just didn't know whether they're gonna actually get divorced or not.
Can you tell us what life was like before the divorce?
Life was more financially stable. We lived in a house and had, I think, 2 cars. And we had a dog, a little yard.
I didn't remember a lot, but I knew it was fine. Like, we were just like one big happy family, like going to the beach and stuff and doing family things. And
The house was kind of split up between my stepdad and my stepbrother.
I had a lot more freedom when they were together. I think that's because they were dealing with their own issues. They weren't so concerned about me. They knew I'd be okay.
When I was a lot younger, I'd always seen my family as the family, you know, the average family unit.
All my friends were on the same street, so I was outside most of the time. Really, I didn't see my parents that much, and I think that's why I didn't notice what was going on in the house, because I was outside all the time with my friends.
I just remember being sent to like my grandma's house a lot, just because like, I don't know, they were probably fighting.
I'd come home, and my mom would be there every day.
My mom was much more of the stricter one, so I actually, instead of being like rebellious or like getting bad grades, I actually was a straight A student.
But when everyone was together, it was cool and everyone was kind of happy. But you know, it's all that other time that everything was separated, or as soon as something went wrong or there was an argument between anyone, it was like separation.
I could look at my dad and I could look at my mom and I could say, okay, these two people just, I don't even know why they're married in the first place.
Whatever happened was between them, and I think at my age that was kind of strange to understand that.
Well, before they got divorced, I was thinking, well, I don't think they will get divorced. This is while they were separated. I would think, well, I don't think they will get divorced, but I didn't really know. And there'd be nights where I'd kind of go, what if they do?
It wasn't until maybe a couple of years later it finally set in on me that things would never be the same.
Right after, directly, like right after they divorced, we moved here.
My dad moved out of the house, and my mom stayed in the house that we lived in before. And my dad actually moved into the Residence Inn, which is like a furnished apartment complex, basically. But you're really only meant to stay there for a couple weeks at the most.
It was life with my mom in her apartments that I didn't like at all.
My mom always pulled me towards her, you know, and to like stick up for her. Ever since I was like 3 years old, she'd wake me up, tell me about her problems. And when I started getting older is when I started realizing that I can like voice my own opinion, you know, and then that's when me and my mom started separating.
Life got a little bit more financially unstable, and my mom had to take care of me and 3 other siblings of mine, an older brother, a younger brother, and a younger sister. And she basically couldn't do it on her own, so she got as much help she could from government programs and such as welfare.
My mom, she raised my brother, my sister, and me, so like all on her own. It was hard for her to pay the bills and stuff. My dad always sent money for me and my brother, but recently now, since I'm 18 and my brother's 23, like she doesn't get any money now because, you know, but my dad still helps out a little bit, but it was definitely hard for her, like paying the bills and stuff.
It's always been really good for me. I've just been like really, really blessed and lucky to be in a family like this. Even once I get separated, my dad pays alimonies to my mom. There's really not much of a change, to tell you the truth. doesn't seem, it doesn't seem like, okay, I have to pay my mom, or my dad does not say to himself, okay, I have to pay Helen, oh crap, I'm not gonna be able to pay my bills. That's just not the way it works for us. He's doing pretty well.
Both my parents are remarried to different people, and I approve of them both, so that's good. My stepmom and my stepdad are both very considerate people, so that's nice.
If divorce were a person in human form,
I imagine a divorce like a huge, like, big fat guy.
towering giant
Someone that's lazy,
I don't know, some angry fool.
someone that's weak.
that doesn't really ever fall in love and just kind of bullies the people who try to fall in love but just aren't really sure about themselves, I guess, until they can actually get married to another person because they don't even know themselves yet.
I think it can do a lot of good. I think divorce, it sucks. It sucks when it first happens because it's a big fat change. But a lot of kids will look at it and say, oh no, my family's falling apart. And it also depends on how old the kid is when the family gets divorced. If you're 3 years old, you're not gonna get it. You're just gonna be like, oh, and you're 3 years old.
Judging from friends that I've had parents that have gotten divorced, and for my situation, it's for their own self-gratification, not for the children, which, in some cases for them it's a really good thing. For the children it may or may not be.
It's like the best thing that's ever happened, just because if they didn't divorce, I wouldn't be here right now, and also I wouldn't have like the friends I have in New York, because I went back for 7th and 8th grade, and I met all these new people, and just because my parents divorced, and I don't know, life would be pretty whack if they stayed together.
I think I'm just as well off as I was before they were, or back when they were still together. I think it was sort of like a roller coaster, really. It started off good, got bad, but then it came back up. So now things are great again.
I took their mistakes and tried to make it to better myself, and learn from that.
In the end, it can do a lot of good.